Hello. So I have to apologize first because we're in a conference center. We're at a teacher conference, so it's the only time we could find all week to make this happen. So bear with us if it's a little noisy. Hello, Audrey. Welcome back
Hi.
again. So this lesson was focusing on standards 6, 7, 8. Uh, I really liked this lesson actually. What did you think?
Yeah, I have watched the lesson and I think it went very well. And I've seen lots of assessment during the whole class. And actually, the first question I want to ask is how do you feel about it, and how do you feel using assessment to achieve your teaching goals?
Oh, sorry, it was kind of loud. The overall, like you said, I thought the lesson went well, and I was really trying to focus on how I would integrate the assessment into the lesson, and so I did a lot of different types of formative assessment, and so the goal with that is that there were specific objectives that I wanted to achieve from the formative assessment. Number one was probably most obvious because this is a story lesson. It was a story about dinosaurs. Is I wanted to check their comprehension. And so a very easy way for me to check individual comprehension of the story was to do a true and false quiz that was online after the story. And that's just one example. There were some other things as well.
Okay. Okay. So and how did you use the information or data to help you with the assessment through the class?
The one example I think that that I purposefully that I was purposeful with in this specific lesson. I'm not talking about previous lessons, taking formative like data from previous lessons, but from this specific lesson. There was an instance where I was doing some I wanted to check their knowledge about some keywords before the story. And so instead of introducing the words one by one, I actually did the assessment before. So I wanted to gather their pre-knowledge to see how much time I needed to spend on introducing the vocabulary. And when I did it, you may remember that a lot of the students, they didn't know the keywords. Only the strong students, of course, were very good with it, and more than half of the class didn't know anything. So I had to spend a lot of time going through the key vocabulary one by one. So that I think that's one example of how I used that information from that formative assessment of keywords to guide my instruction to spend more time on introducing those words.
Okay. How was the lower performers? How does it? How did you plan for them? How did you what did when you planned the lesson also
For the assessment, right?
for the assessment? Yeah, for the lower student.
The one, so EE is the student that was part of it, was my case study student, and she still is not at a very high level, but she's doing much better. She's doing great in my opinion. There was one formative assessment that I did where they had to read I think it was 4 or 5 questions, and then they had to match a word to those questions. I knew that EE wouldn't be able to do that very timely, so to accommodate that, I made groups. So I did breakout rooms, and I put students together, and they did the assessment together. So it was just a mixture of different types of assessment, and that all goes back to the instructional strategies as well. So this is all purposeful. I'm planning all of this with the understanding that she would have some problems, and so I wanted to accommodate that. And and so I make the breakout rooms, and I think that ties into all of the standards, you know, because it's about planning, it's about different instructional strategies that I use, like the breakout room, and using the technology in that way. So overall, I like that she could do that with the other students.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think that's all my questions.
Okay. You were going to ask me about earlier we were talking about the student Rita, and about this wasn't part of the lesson, but I shared in the final video that she did the summative assessment, and I just wanted to touch on that because she, if you remember, she did very poorly last unit, and we were talking about that she couldn't do presenting so well, and so we focused on that assessment data about her poor performance and presentation skills, and really focused on it this unit. And so I added this unit's summative assessment to the very end, so that we could see the difference, and she did so much better. So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, and I saw that she was very fluent and acting, and so confident.
Yeah,
and
it's good.
She's actually talking about it than really reading about it. So I think that's great. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks. Bye bye. Thank you.